Hi, my name is Eric Edmeades, and I'm really glad that you're watching this video right now because if you're in business or you're thinking about getting in business or you ever need to influence people, I'm going to share with you some really powerful stuff about influence and marketing. Why? Well, in my background in business, I didn't know what I was doing. I made a whole lot of mistakes, and because people took their time to write books and create video programs, I was able to take a lot of shortcuts and avoid a lot of the mistakes that I might have made even more so. Like reading books by people like Richard Branson and Michael Gerber and going to seminars by people like Stephen Covey and Tony Robbins had a really big impact on the way I ended up building my first business and obviously my subsequent businesses. And so I really enjoy paying that forward. I found that a few years ago when I got invited to do my first few talks about business that I really loved that feeling of when I could see that the audience had some stresses and some challenges in their business and I could give them feedback or give them an answer that would help to release that stress, and I really enjoyed that. So over the last 5 years, I have traveled all over the world. I've spoken in over 20 countries, and I've been working with entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs and self-employed people to really help them transform their businesses. And consistently, one of the problems I see is cash flow. And while there are a lot of ways you can fix cash flow through correct accounting procedures and good business systems, let's be really clear. One of the easiest ways to fix cash flow problems is to bring money into the company. Are you with me? And so I want to share with you something that I developed a number of years ago called Inception marketing. Now, Inception, the English word Inception, it means the beginning. And Inception marketing is essentially a really strategic marketing methodology, a marketing system that allows your clients to realize that they want to buy your product without you having to do so much selling. I hope that sounds good to you. And so what I want to do is two things. I want to show you the basic steps of Inception marketing, and then I want to invite you to a free training where I'm going to show you some of the key steps so that you can increase your lead flow, improve your performance or your conversion, and maybe learn a little bit about how to create really loyal, repeat purchasing clients. Does this sound good to you? All right. So let's talk about Inception marketing. First of all, it's strategic rather than being kind of more tactical. And what I mean by that is a lot of times these days when people are doing marketing, they think of it kind of like, oh, there's my target and I'm going to throw a dart at it and hope that I get the sale. So what we do with Inception marketing is we do something significantly more strategic where we are moving pieces around what is more like a chessboard, where we're positioning the market so that clients naturally become curious about our products and end up wanting to know more and end up wanting to buy. And so I want to show you what the steps are. And then, like I said, I've got a free training for you that I think you're really going to love. So let's start off with the basic steps. The first step of Inception marketing is to identify your ideal target market. Your ideal target market is a very specific group of people that you or companies or prospects that you would actually like to sell to. And remember, it's important to know that you don't only have to have one. I know so many marketing experts out there have told you have to have a niche, a niche, a niche. You have to have a specific niche. There is some truth to that. But when you get really strategic with your marketing, you realize that you can create several different marketing niches. So for example, if you were selling pet supplies to pet owners, that would be like a big overall target market. But couldn't you subdivide pet owners into dog and cat owners or reptile owners or families that have pets or single women that have pets or single men that have pets or kids that have pets? Are you with me? So an ideal target market is a specific group of people that's going to make it a lot easier for you to market to them because you know who they are. Then, once we have an ideal target market, the next step is for us to figure out what drives them. What are their drivers or their values? In other words, what are they thinking about? What are their biggest concerns? What are their goals? What are their biggest challenges? Because you see, once we figured that out, we're going to be in a much better position to be able to market to them because we know what they're thinking. The old days of marketing to people based on our product, where we can talk about our features and benefits, those days are over. People don't have an attention span for that anymore. And so what we're going to do is use a little bit of corporate empathy or a little, personal empathy and think more about our prospects so that we can talk to them about what they want. In other words, we're going to give them what they want so we can lead them toward what we feel they need. So we're going to do a good psychological evaluation and figure out what they are thinking about. And this is important. Remember that when you have your ideal target markets, you should be looking at those from different psychological perspectives. Here's what I mean. Dog owners and cat owners have different concerns. So the way you might market to a dog owner might be different than the way you might market to a cat owner. Does this make sense? I hope so. So the next one we want to take a look at once we've figured out what drives them, is we want to figure out how to engage them. How to engage them. Now, this is really important. This is no longer the old style version of selling where we're only thinking how to get them to buy. What we're now doing is saying, how do we get them engaged? In other words, what we want to do is get them to take a step toward us, right? Instead of chasing them, instead of having to persuade them, we want to get them to come toward us. And so the engagement pitch is a promise or an undertaking that you make to them based on their psychological drivers that gets them to say, yes, I want to know more. Yes, I'd like to take the next step. Very important to figure out the art of engagement pitches. Once you've got a solid engagement pitch, then what you're going to do is something that we call an inception. You're going to incept them. Let me describe what that means. It means that you're going to give them content, a story or some information that's going to lead them to the natural conclusion that they need whatever it is that you're selling. So that rather than you having to tell them about your features and benefits, rather than you having to explain why it's all very important to them, they're going to just suddenly go, huh, I think I need that. Very, very important. And once you've done a really great job of incepting them, what you're then going to do is you're going to teach them how to buy. You're going to teach them how to buy. And this is really, really powerful because not only are you going to teach them how to buy from you, you're also going to teach them how and why not to buy from your competitors. Let me back up for a minute. When you've done this step properly, you're going to build a significant amount of credibility with the customer. They're going to see you as somebody who's credible, and then you're going to build your authority up. And once you've got some authority with the client, you're going to have earned the right to give them advice about how they should buy and who they should buy from, and more importantly, who they shouldn't buy from. And these steps all together form a phenomenally effective system for generating a lot more leads at the engagement level and much higher conversion at the inception level and a high degree of customer loyalty at the teaching them how to buy level. If this is intriguing to you at all, if you would like to have a massive increase in your lead flow and you want to improve your conversions and you want to improve your customer loyalty, then tune in for our live video training where I cover some of these points in real detail, and I think you'll really like it. It will give you some tangible stuff that can really transform your entire sales and marketing process. Look, if you have any resistance to selling, and most people do a little bit, if you have any resistance to selling, here's all I want you to think about. What if you could lay the groundwork? What if you could create an environment where people were coming to you and they were already asking the buying questions? Wouldn't that be exciting for you? And I think that when you see this live training, and these live trainings were recorded at live events that I did in Tallinn, Estonia, and in Helsinki in Finland, and I think when you watch these videos, you're going to get a really good sense of one core thing. The old world of marketing, how you might be operating a little bit today, is like a person standing out there with a net trying to catch butterflies. And you're running around trying to catch the butterflies, but the problem is, back in the 80s, butterflies were slow and they moved slowly and they were brightly colored, but the butterflies have gotten smarter, haven't they? I mean, marketing has gotten more and more difficult. Now the butterflies are super fast and they camouflage themselves and they're hard to find. And on top of that, there's like 100 other people with their net trying to catch the same butterflies. What you're going to learn in these videos is how to create a garden where the butterflies come to you. So join me for the videos, and I hope that we get to meet in person one day. I do lots of events around Europe, and maybe one day we'll have a chance to get together.